The galactic threat emerges. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, the Galactic Concilium stood as a beacon of unity among countless civilizations. For millennia, it had maintained a delicate balance of power, fostering trade, cultural exchange, and scientific advancement. But on this fateful day, that balance was about to be shattered. High Counselor Zorak, a being of crystalline form from the planet Lumina, stood before the assembly, her facets reflecting the worried expressions of the gathered representatives. Her voice, a melodious chime, carried across the grand chamber. "Esteemed colleagues," she began, her tone grave, "I bring dire news from the outer reaches of our territory. An unknown force has breached our borders, leaving destruction in its wake." A murmur of concern rippled through the chamber. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing scenes of devastation. Entire planets reduced to rubble, fleets of ships torn asunder, and refugee convoys fleeing in terror. "We have named this threat the Void Harvesters," Zorak continued. "Their ships are unlike anything we've encountered, organic, adaptive, and seemingly impervious to our weapons. They consume everything in their path, growing stronger with each conquest." The Thraxian representative, a mass of tentacles and eyes, pulsed with agitation. "How many worlds have fallen?" it gurgled. 17 in the past solar cycle," Zorak replied, her crystalline form dimming with sorrow. "And we project the loss of another 30 within the next if we cannot halt their advance." Panic began to spread through the chamber. Species that had been at odds for generations now found themselves united in fear. The arachnid collective chittered nervously, their spider-like forms huddling together. The gaseous nebulons swirled in agitation, their colors shifting rapidly from cool blues to alarming reds. "What of our combined fleets?" demanded Grok, the reptilian leader of the Saurian Empire. "Surely our military might can repel these invaders." Zorak's response was somber. "Our initial engagements have been disastrous. The Void Harvesters adapt to our tactics faster than we can implement them. Traditional warfare seems ineffective against their biotechnology." As the council descended into heated debate, a small, unassuming figure stepped forward. Ambassador Xin, representative of the enigmatic Whisper Collective, rarely spoke at these gatherings, but when they did, all listened. "There is another option." Xin's voice was barely audible, yet it cut through the chaos like a knife. "One that many of you fear to even consider." The chamber fell silent, all eyes turning to the diminutive being. "You speak of Earth," Zorak said, her tone a mixture of hope and dread. Xin nodded slowly. "The humans have remained isolated for centuries, but their potential cannot be denied. Their history of warfare, their adaptability, their sheer unpredictability, these qualities make them uniquely suited to face this threat." The mere mention of Earth sent shockwaves through the assembly. Memories of past human interventions in galactic affairs surfaced, brutal, effective, and often with unforeseen consequences that echoed for generations. "Madness," roared Grok. "The humans are savages, more likely to destroy us all than save us." "Have you forgotten the Pyrrhic Wars?" hissed an arachnid. "Entire sectors still bear the scars of human assistance." Zorak raised her arms, calling for order. "I understand your concerns. Earth's involvement has always been complicated, but we cannot deny their effectiveness. If the Void Harvesters cannot be stopped by conventional means, perhaps unconventional allies are what we need." The debate raged for hours. Factions formed and dissolved as quickly as alliances in the face of this unprecedented threat. Some argued for immediate contact with Earth, while others advocated for a final stand without human intervention. As the session neared its end, Xin spoke once more. "There is something else you should know. Our deep space monitors have detected unusual activity in the Sol system. It appears Earth may already be aware of the coming storm." This revelation sent a fresh wave of anxiety through the Council. Had humanity been preparing all along? What forces might they have developed in their isolation? Zorak, sensing the growing unease, made a decision. We will send a delegation to Earth, not to beg for help, but to assess their capabilities and intentions. If they are already mobilizing, it's better we approach them as potential allies than have them enter this conflict on their own terms." The motion passed, though not without dissent. As the council adjourned, representatives hurried to inform their respective worlds. Preparation for war accelerated across the galaxy, but all eyes turned towards a small blue planet in an unassuming spiral arm of the Milky Way. Earth, long avoided, long feared, might just hold the key to the galaxy's survival. But at what cost? The coming days would determine the fate not just of humanity, but of all sentient life in the cosmos. As the Galactic Consilium's emissaries set course for the Sol system, none could predict the seismic shift that was about to rock the foundations of galactic society. Humanity, in all its terrifying potential, was about to take center stage in the greatest conflict the universe had ever known. Earth's secret preparations. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility unknown to most of humanity, General Area Chen stood before a holographic display of the Milky Way. Red markers pulsed ominously, indicating the advance of the alien force that threatened the galaxy. Her weathered face, etched with the lines of countless tactical simulations and sleepless nights, remained impassive as she absorbed the data. "Status report," she commanded, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's future. Dr. Elias Makey, head of Earth's Xenobiology Division, stepped forward. His dark skin contrasted sharply with the stark white of his lab coat. "The Sentinel probes have confirmed our worst fears, General. The entity we've been tracking for the past decade has finally made its move. Our calculations suggest they'll reach Earth's sphere of influence within 2 years." Chen nodded, her mind already racing through potential scenarios. "And our preparations? Project Lazarus is at 89% completion," replied Colonel Sarah Hawthorne, the youngest person ever to achieve her rank. Her augmented eyes glowed faintly as she interfaced with the base's eye. "The orbital defense grid is fully operational, and the 1st Battalion of nanoforged troops will be combat-ready within the month." For centuries, Earth had maintained a facade of isolation, all while secretly monitoring the galaxy and preparing for the day when they would be called upon or threatened. The arrival of the Void Harvesters, as the Galactic Consilium had named them, was not unexpected. Humanity had seen the signs long before their galactic neighbors, and they had used that time wisely. "What of the Consilium?" Chen asked, turning to the final member of her inner circle. Ambassador Marcus Jave, Earth's secret liaison to the galactic community, cleared his throat. "Our deep cover operatives report that the Consilium is in disarray. They're considering reaching out to us officially, but there's significant resistance. Our reputation precedes us." A ghost of a smile flickered across Chen's face. Earth's previous interventions in galactic affairs had been calculated to create this very impression, a species too dangerous to provoke, too unpredictable to rely upon. It had bought them the time they needed to prepare. "Then we stick to the plan," Chen declared. "We wait for them to come to us. In the meantime, accelerate all projects. I want Lazarus at 100% within the week." As her team dispersed to carry out her orders, Chen turned back to the galactic display. Humanity had come so far since its first tentative steps into the cosmos. They had learned, adapted, and prepared in ways that would shock their galactic neighbors. Deep in the heart of the Sahara, vast underground factories hummed with activity. Here, swarms of self-replicating nanobots constructed weapons and defenses that defied conventional physics. Quantum entanglement drives, capable of instantaneous travel across vast distances. Armor forged from artificially created neutronium, nearly indestructible. And at the core of it all, the culmination of centuries of AI research, a tactical network that could process and adapt to new threats faster than thought. In orbiting shipyards, cloaked from both Earth's population and any prying alien eyes, a fleet like no other took shape. Ships that were more organism than machine, capable of regeneration and evolution in real time. At their helm would be the nanoforged troops, Soldiers whose bodies had been enhanced far beyond natural human limits, their minds linked directly to their ships and weapons. But Earth's greatest weapon remained its people, united in secret, prepared for a threat few could imagine. Humanity stood ready to unleash its full potential upon an unsuspecting galaxy. In a secure briefing room, Dr. Mbeki addressed a group of Earth's top scientists and military strategists. The Void Harvesters represent a type of life utterly alien to our understanding, he explained, gesturing to a holographic model of one of the invading ships. They're a collective consciousness, each ship a part of a greater whole. They don't conquer in the traditional sense. They consume. Planets, stars, even the very fabric of space-time is food to them. How do we fight something like that? Asked one of the generals, his voice tinged with awe and fear. Dr. Mbeki's eyes gleamed with the excitement of scientific discovery. By using their nature against them. Project Lazarus isn't just a weapons system, it's a virus. A virus designed to infect the Void Harvester's collective consciousness and turn it against itself. The implications were staggering. Earth wasn't just planning to repel the invaders, they were aiming to subvert and control them. Meanwhile, in a top-secret training facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, Colonel Hawthorne oversaw the final preparations of the nanoforged troops. These soldiers were the pinnacle of human evolution and technological integration. Their bodies were infused with billions of nanobots, capable of restructuring themselves at will. In battle, they could adapt to any environment, regenerate from grievous injuries, and interface directly with any technology. Remember, Hawthorne addressed the troops, her augmented voice resonating in their minds. You are the vanguard of humanity. You carry with you the hopes and dreams of every person on Earth. The enemy we face believes itself invincible, but they have never encountered anything like us. The soldiers stood at attention, their eyes glowing with the same inner fire as Hawthorne's. They were no longer merely human. They were humanity's ultimate expression of survival and adaptability. As Earth made its final preparations, a signal was detected at the edge of the solar system. The Consilium's delegation had arrived. General Chen received the news with calm determination. "Let them come," she said, her voice carrying to every corner of the hidden facility. "It's time to show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." The stage was set. Earth, long dismissed as a backwater world of savages, was about to reveal itself as the most advanced civilization in the galaxy. The Void Harvesters had awakened a sleeping giant, and the universe would never be the same. Unexpected alliance. The Consilium delegation's ship, a sleek vessel that seemed to shimmer with an inner light, descended through Earth's atmosphere. As it approached the designated landing zone, a nondescript airfield in the American Midwest, the alien visitors couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. Earth's surface showed no signs of the advanced civilization they had feared. No orbital defenses, no massive cities spanning continents. Had they overestimated humanity's capabilities? Ambassador Zorak led the delegation, her crystalline form refracting the sunlight as she emerged from the ship. Flanking her were representatives from key Consilium species. Grok of the Saurian Empire, a member of the Arachnid Collective, and Sin of the Whisper Collective. Each had been chosen for their unique perspectives and abilities. They were greeted by a small human delegation led by Marcus Javed. His warm smile and extended hand belied the tension in the air. "Welcome to Earth," he said, his voice carrying a hint of an accent that the aliens' universal translators couldn't quite place. "We've been expecting you." Zarek's facets flickered with surprise. "You knew we were coming." Javid's smile widened. "We've known about the Void Harvesters for some time, Ambassador, and we've been preparing. Please, follow me. There's much to discuss." As they were led to a seemingly ordinary elevator, the alien delegation exchanged nervous glances. This was not going according to plan. They had come to warn Earth, to cautiously probe for assistance. Instead, they found themselves being ushered into humanity's confidence with unsettling ease. The elevator descended far deeper than any of them expected. When the doors finally opened, they stepped out into a vast underground complex that defied belief. Holographic displays filled the air, showing real-time data from across the galaxy. Humans worked alongside machines that seemed to blur the line between technology and living organism. General Chen met them in a conference room that could have easily been the bridge of a starship. "Welcome," she said, her tone businesslike. "I assume you're here about the Void Harvesters. Let me save you some time. We're ready to help, but on our terms." The aliens were stunned into momentary silence. Gruk, the Saurian, was the first to find his voice. "Impossible," he growled. "You've been isolated for centuries. How could you possibly be prepared for a threat you've never encountered?" Chen's laugh was devoid of humor. "Isolated? Is that what you thought?" With a gesture, she brought up a holographic display of the galaxy. Countless points of light indicated human observation posts, deep cover agents, and hidden outposts. "We've been watching, learning, preparing. The galaxy thought they were containing us. In reality, we were biding our time." Zarek's crystalline form trembled with a mixture of awe and fear. "Why? Why go to such lengths?" "Survival," Chen replied simply. "Humanity has always understood that the universe is a dangerous place. We knew that one day we'd face a threat that would require everything we had to overcome. The Void Harvesters are that threat." Over the next few hours, the human leaders revealed the full extent of their preparations. The nanoforge troops, the quantum entanglement drives, Project Lazarus. Each revelation left the alien delegation more shocked than the last. Sin of the Whisper Collective, who had been silent until now, finally spoke. "You've surpassed every species in the Concilium," they whispered. "Why reveal this to us now? Why not simply deal with the threat on your own?" Jave stepped forward, his expression solemn. "Because this isn't just about humanity's survival. The Void Harvesters threaten all life in the galaxy. We may have the tools to fight them, but we believe that victory, true victory, can only be achieved together." It was a profound moment. The aliens began to see humanity not as a potential weapon to be wielded, but as partners in the truest sense. The fear that had brought them to Earth began to transform into hope. Negotiations began in earnest. Earth offered its technology and troops, but with conditions. They would not be subordinate to the Concilium, but equal partners. More than that, they demanded reforms, an end to the stagnation that had left the galaxy vulnerable, a commitment to shared scientific advancement. As the talks progressed, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Dr. Mbiki burst into the room, his face pale. "General," he gasped, "long-range sensors have detected a Void Harvester scout ship. It's entered the solar system." The room erupted into chaos. The alien delegation panicked, certain that this would be the end of their civilizations. But Chen remained calm. With a series of rapid commands, she mobilized Earth's defenses. "This," she said, turning to the stunned aliens, "is what we've been preparing for. Watch and learn." On screens throughout the room, they watched as a small contingent of nanoforge troops engaged the Void Harvester scout. The battle was swift and decisive. Human ships, invisible to the alien vessel until the last moment, surrounded and disabled it with weapons that seemed to defy the laws of physics. But it was what came next that truly shocked the Concilium representatives. Instead of destroying the scout, the humans captured it. Within, the battle begins. As the captured Void Harvester scout ship was towed into Earth's hidden orbital facility, tension permeated the air. The Concilium delegation watched in awe as human scientists and soldiers swarmed around the alien vessel, their movements precise and coordinated. Dr. Elias Mbeki stood before a holographic display, his eyes alight with excitement. "This is our chance," he declared to the assembled human and alien leaders. "With this scout ship, we can finally test Project Lazarus in real-world conditions." Ambassador Zarek's crystalline form shimmered with concern. "You intend to use your virus on this ship?" Is that not incredibly dangerous? General Chen stepped forward, her face set in grim determination. Everything we do from this point on is dangerous, Ambassador. But it's a calculated risk. If Lazarus works as intended, we'll have turned the Void Harvester's greatest strength into their ultimate weakness. As the humans prepared to implement Project Lazarus, alarms blared throughout the facility. Colonel Hawthorne's augmented eyes flashed as she processed the incoming data. Multiple Void Harvester ships have entered the solar system, she reported. It seems the scout managed to send a signal before we captured it. The alien delegation erupted in panic, but Chen's voice cut through the chaos. This is what we've prepared for. Initiate Operation Thunderbolt. Across the solar system, hidden human outposts sprang to life. Massive energy shields enveloped Earth and its colonies, while quantum entanglement drives activated on thousands of ships, allowing them to appear instantly at strategic points throughout the system. The Void Harvesters, expecting to find a primitive world ripe for consumption, instead faced a defense network beyond their comprehension. Human vessels, piloted by nanoforged troops, engaged the alien ships in a dance of impossible maneuvers and devastating firepower. In the command center, the Consilium representatives watched in awe as humanity revealed the full extent of its military might. Ships that could alter their form mid-battle, weapons that seemed to bend reality itself, and soldiers whose enhanced bodies and minds made them more than a match for the Void Harvester's biological technology. By the eternal stars, Grok whispered, his reptilian features slack with shock. What have you become? Javed, standing nearby, offered a grim smile. We've become what we needed to be. The guardians of life itself. As the battle raged across the solar system, Dr. Miki and his team worked feverishly to implement Project Lazarus. The captured scout ship became a testing ground for the virus that humanity hoped would turn the tide of the war. Hours passed, marked by tense updates from the front lines. The human forces were holding their own, but the Void Harvester's ability to adapt was proving formidable. For every ship destroyed, 2 more seemed to take its place, each one stronger and more resilient than the last. Just as it seemed the defense might falter, Mbiki's voice rang out. It's done. Lazarus is ready for deployment. Chen didn't hesitate. Upload it to all nanoforged troops. Let's end this. What followed was a spectacle unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. As the Lazarus virus spread through the Void Harvester fleet, ship after ship began to turn on its allies. The hive mind that had made them so formidable became their undoing, as conflicting commands tore through their collective consciousness. The Consilium delegation watched in stunned silence as the invincible armada tore itself apart. Ships collided, weapons fired indiscriminately, and in the span of mere hours, the greatest threat the galaxy had ever known was reduced to scattered, confused remnants. As the last of the Void Harvesters retreated from the solar system, a cheer went up from the human forces. They had done it. They had faced the unconquerable foe and emerged victorious. But in the command center, the mood was more somber. Chen turned to the alien representatives, her eyes heavy with the weight of what had transpired. This was only the beginning, she said. The Void Harvesters will be back, and next time, they'll be ready for us. The real war is just starting. Zarak stepped forward, her crystalline form resonating with a new respect for humanity. Then we face it together, she declared. You've shown us what's possible when a species truly prepares for the worst. The Consilium, no, the galaxy, needs humanity's strength and innovation. As the human leaders and Consilium representatives began to discuss the future, a new era dawned for the Milky Way. Humanity, long feared and misunderstood, had emerged as the galaxy's best hope for survival. The road ahead would be fraught with challenges, but for the first time in eons, the diverse species of the Consilium felt a glimmer of true hope. The battle was won, but the war for the future of all life in the galaxy was just beginning, and humanity, in all its terrifying and awe-inspiring potential, would lead the charge. Humanity's triumph and aftermath. In the months following the Battle of Sol, as it came to be known, the galaxy underwent a transformation unlike any in its long history. Earth, once a hidden bastion of advanced technology, became the centerpiece of a new galactic order. The luminous spaceport, a massive structure orbiting Earth, bustled with activity. Ships from every corner of the Milky Way docked here, their crews eager to learn from humanity and contribute to the war effort against the Void Harvesters. At its heart stood the newly formed Galactic Defense Council, where representatives from Earth and the former Concilium worked tirelessly to prepare for the inevitable return of their enemy. General Area Chen, now serving as Earth's primary representative, stood before a diverse assembly of alien dignitaries. Her weathered face wore the signs of countless sleepless nights, but her eyes burned with unwavering determination. The Battle of Sol was not the end, she began, her voice carrying across the chamber. It was merely the opening salvo in a war that will define the future of all sentient life. The Void Harvesters will return, and when they do, they will have adapted to our tactics, our technology. We must be ready. Zerak, her crystalline form shimmering with newfound respect for humanity, spoke next. General Chen speaks the truth. We of the former Concilium have pledged our full support to Earth's leadership in this crisis. Their foresight and preparation saved us all. Now we must learn from them, grow stronger together. The assembly erupted in a chorus of agreement, a unity of purpose that would have been unthinkable mere months ago. Species that had been bitter rivals for millennia now worked side by side, driven by the common goal of survival. Dr. Elias Mbeki stepped forward, his dark skin contrasting sharply with the stark white of his lab coat. Project Lazarus was a success, he announced, but it was only the beginning. We've established joint research teams with scientists from across the galaxy. Together, we're pushing the boundaries of what's possible in biotech, quantum physics, and artificial intelligence. Screens lit up around the chamber, displaying schematics for new defense systems, ships that could manipulate the fabric of space-time itself, and weapons capable of neutralizing Void Harvester technology without destroying it. The assembled representatives murmured in awe at the rapid advancements being made. Colonel Sarah Hawthorne, her augmented eyes glowing faintly, provided a military update. The Nanoforge program has been expanded. We're training troops from every willing species, enhancing their natural abilities, and connecting them to our tactical networks. When the Void Harvesters return, they'll face a unified force unlike anything they've encountered before. As the briefing continued, Ambassador Marcus Javid observed the proceedings with a mixture of pride and concern. Humanity had achieved its long-held goal of galactic leadership, but at what cost? The galaxy was mobilizing for total war, and Earth stood at the center of it all. Months turned into years. The galaxy, once complacent in its long peace, transformed into a buzzing hive of military and scientific advancement. Earth's hidden technologies were shared, refined, and improved upon through collaboration with alien minds. The Nanoforge troops, once exclusively human, now included members of dozens of species, each bringing their unique evolutionary advantages to bear. And then, 5 years after the Battle of Sol, long-range sensors detected a massive disturbance at the edge of the galaxy. The Void Harvesters had returned, their fleet larger and more terrifying than ever before. But this time, the galaxy was ready. As the first waves of Void Harvesters entered populated systems, they were met not with panic and disorganized resistance, but with a coordinated defense that spanned the entire Milky Way. Quantum communication networks allowed for instant strategic adjustments across vast distances. Nanoforge troops, their bodies and ships adapting in real time to Void Harvester attacks, held the line on world after world. The war raged across the stars, a conflict of unimaginable scale. Entire solar systems became battlegrounds, the fabric of space itself warping under the strain of weapons beyond comprehension. But at every turn, the united forces of the galaxy pushed back, their strategies guided by human ingenuity and alien wisdom working in concert. In the final climactic battle, fought in the swirling chaos of the galactic core, humanity unveiled its ultimate weapon, a device that could manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe itself, turning the Void Harvester's consumption of reality against them. As it activated, a shockwave of restructured space-time cascaded through the enemy fleet, unmaking them at the most basic level. In a blinding flash of light that echoed across the cosmos, the Void Harvesters were no more. As the galaxy erupted in celebration, the leaders of Earth and their alien allies gathered once more in the luminous spaceport. The mood was one of exhausted triumph, the weight of their victory tempered by the cost of the long war. General Chen, her hair now streaked with gray, addressed the assembly. "We have won," she said, her voice carrying the weariness of one who had borne the weight of galaxies. "But our work is far from over. We must rebuild, heal, and ensure that we are never again caught unprepared for the dangers that lurk in the dark between the stars." Zarak, speaking for the United Species of the Milky Way, responded, "Humanity led us to victory, showed us what we could achieve when we put aside our differences and faced our challenges together. Let this be the foundation of a new era, not just of survival, but of growth, exploration, and unity." As the assembly cheered, Jade stood quietly at the back, a small smile on his face. Humanity had emerged from isolation to save the galaxy, and in doing so, had forged connections that would last for eons. The future was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril, but one thing was clear: humanity and its alien allies would face it together. The Milky Way, once a fragmented collection of species bound by fear and mistrust, had been forged in the crucible of war into something greater. A true galactic civilization, with humanity at its heart, ready to reach out into the cosmos and shape the destiny of life itself. As the celebrations began, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter, bearing witness to the dawn of a new age, an age of unity, of purpose, and of endless possibility.